You guys seeing this unintentional Konami reference in the background? I'm very curious how many people actually get that reference. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about Multiversus today. And what's going on with Multiversus? Apparently they dropped a new trailer and it looks fantastic. And a lot of people are talking about it. And I'm just going to share some of the most popular opinions that were shared over on Twitter, basically. The first of which I just want to talk about is the trailer itself. So it is a complete CGI trailer where characters are interacting with each other, like Velma with Joker, and Marvin the Martian with some character I couldn't even begin to tell you who that is. But then they got Iron Giant versus Spike from the Gremlins. Like that was wild. I loved it. And then again, they introduced some new characters in this trailer. They had Jason Voorhees as well as Agent Smith. Two really cool character additions. I personally, I'm not that jazzed about the Matrix to see it come back in this form, but that's fine. I get it. It's a huge franchise, and Agent Smith, I guess, is one of the better characters to pick for something like that. Obviously, the only other one I could think of would be Neo. The other one is Jason Voorhees, pure icon. It makes perfect sense to have him in the game. A lot of people, though, are definitely making comments about how he looks. Now, for me, I didn't even notice this. I thought that design was fine on its surface until people started bringing it to my attention. But I'll get into that in a second. I will just say that the aesthetic of Multiversus in general, don't really love the Disney Infinity type Toys to Life like look of the game. It's very imitative of definitely that franchise, but whatever, you know, it's not the worst art style on the planet or anything like that. It's just that some characters like Jason Voorhees end up coming out looking way different than you might remember them in the films or whatever. So anyways, Jason Voorhees has this really broad look, like the shoulders go out to here. Some person made a joke about how he looks like a vehicle, like a truck or some kind. Another person made a comparison to the Kingpin in Spider Into the Spider-Verse movies. I thought that was really funny. To me, again, it wasn't distracting enough for me to think of a comment about it. I was just excited at the fact that like Jason Voorhees was introduced into the game at all. So that's where I kind of stand on it. There was like other things. There was like voice acting for Rick from Rick and Morty, which I think it's the new voice. I guess the voice actor really is a pretty good replacement for Justin Roiland. I'm a bit surprised I couldn't immediately tell if it was Justin Roiland or not.
Not this one. Let's try. Sorry, Bruce, I'm not here.
Despite the fact that he has been exiled from all future projects, I just was like, well, was this something that he recorded well ahead of time or something? Because it really sounds just like him, but I've seen clips from the show that don't quite sound quite right. So good for you either way, I guess. I loved this trailer, and a lot of other people loved this trailer to the point where it pointed out a glaring omission in the Smash Brothers franchise. You can't help but compare this game to Super Smash Brothers because it's a crossover game, a platform fighting crossover game. So the similarities are very tight. And so when you have this trailer where all these characters are genuinely interacting with each other and not just sort of adjacent to each other or reacting to something that is happening, you know, this becomes very exciting, and it creates a longing for something like this in Super Smash Brothers. A lot of people on Twitter, in my opinion, I can tell, have never played Super Smash Bros. Brawl before, because some of them are acting as though it's never happened in the history of Smash Brothers. But that's what Subspace Emissary was over on Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Wii. It was a whole single-player campaign where characters were directly interacting with each other, and it was really cool, albeit there was some dumb rules where characters who would normally talk don't seem to talk in it, just to kind of, I guess, match up with the non-talking characters. I thought that was a bad decision, but that's okay because the rest of the game and the rest of its elements are really cool in my opinion. But point is that we have seen it once before. It was deeply appreciated by me at the time, and I would love to see it in something like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But yeah, the trailer for Multiversus shows us exactly why we want something like that. It was a lot of fun to see the Joker interact with people, which, by the way, is that Mark Hamill? It sounds like him, and if it isn't, again, it's the same situation as the Rick Sanchez thing, where it's like, wow, they finally got somebody to sound a lot like Mark Hamill's Joker. Either way, good for them. I'll say that again. And yeah, I'm glad to see that this trailer is generating some excitement for the game again. I haven't seen this level of talk about the game since its launch. And again, a lot of people really loved it at its launch, but it tapered off very quickly because there wasn't either enough updates or the gameplay wasn't quite there. I will say personally, in my experience, I was a day oneer, and I found that the user interface was really, really strange. It had like that Fortnite sort of interface, and it's not the most optimized interface. I'm going to say that. Like, people who play Fortnite obviously have gotten used to it, Dead by Daylight, all that other stuff. But like for me, it's so much easier to just have a menu that says like new game, online game, you know, instead of having to like find it somewhere on the menu. I hope they fix that. I hope they change that. That was something that bothered me. But outside of that, I didn't love the rules. I also didn't love how loose and floaty the gameplay felt. I don't know if it's gotten better. I know they have adjusted the physics of it, but has it adjusted enough where it's going to make me want to stay invested in the game? That remains to be seen. I'm going to go back and I'm going to find out. But that was definitely something that kind of got me to fall off the game pretty quickly. On top of the fact that like it was really hard to play as all the characters. If I recall, I think it's like a pay per character sort of payment format, and it just kind of weakened the experience for me. Again, to the point where I am all in on Super Smash Brothers, and I am all in on trying to find competitors so that I can keep the fun going for me. And that game in particular at its launch was not very fun for me, so something got lost there. But again, I'm glad that they're relaunching this game, and I'm glad that I have a chance to go back and see what's changed. I can't wait to play as Gizmo finally. I know that he's been available for a while, but I've not gone back to the game since his inclusion. So I'm excited to play as Spike and Gizmo and stuff like that. And of course, Jason Voorhees, I wonder how he's going to play. I hope it's going to be a ton of fun. And another thing that people are talking about is there's this whole thread that has like all these references to other franchises that might hint at future characters. There was a lot of references to the Powerpuff Girls, so we might see one of the Powerpuff Girls or Mojo Jojo. There was also references to Animaniacs with hot air balloons of The Brain and Pinky, so we might see Animaniacs characters in the future. That would be super exciting. There was also references to Teen Titans as well, so there might be a Teen Titans character. I mean, it could mean nothing. It could just be little references that won't amount to anything, but you know, you want to hope and believe. Like, that is part of the fun of these sort of games, is the speculation. And so now the speculation sprinkles have been put on your pancakes, and you can go ahead and chew on that for a little while. Anyways, dude, that was a great analogy that I just kind of popped out of there. I'm pretty proud of that one. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Feel free to subscribe. We're going to have a very special video coming up real soon that is not like these typical news videos. Instead, it's going to be a little feature. So if you want to stay tuned for that, I'm pretty proud of it. I think it came out great, and I hope that you do take the time to watch it. It's going to be about Nintendo documentaries, so don't tell anybody, though. All right, take care, okay? Bye.